Right, guys, welcome to the Masters preview phone call with Lee Westwood. Obviously, a month to go until the Masters, and lots of you guys are either making your first trip to Augusta National with us at YGT or return visits. I know there's Dave Donovan on the call, who's making his fifth trip to the Masters with Your Golf Travel. So first and foremost, thank you very, very much for choosing Your Golf Travel to fulfill your Masters dream holiday. As I said, we do have Lee Westwood on the call, and we've got a few of you who sent in questions for the main man himself. And who better to give us a preview of Augusta National and the Masters than someone who'd be making his 21st appearance, I believe, 6 top 10 finishes, 2 runner-up finishes, and yeah, a Masters stalwart. So just before we get into your questions about the Masters with Lee, we have a few questions to see how Lee's playing, what he's been up to, where he's been, etc. Hi Lee, welcome to the call as well.
Thanks, Rory.
So Bay Hill, I think you're still in Bay Hill, are you?
Yes, I leave this morning in a couple of hours to go up to Pontevedra. Yeah,
and obviously anyone who's got their eye on the golf media over the last 24 hours or so will have noticed that Bay Hill seems to be playing particularly difficult. Can you talk to me and the guys about what the challenge was there, what challenge was like there this week, and why it was a little bit out of the norm? Because usually it doesn't seem as difficult as it was this year.
Yeah, well, it was brutal, basically, especially at the weekend. We had a few holes and a bit of practice on Monday, Tuesday, at the beginning of last week, and it was already firm and the greens were already really quick. But the thing with this part of the world, this time of year, normally is there's a bit of humidity and there's a bit of dew in the morning, so it kind of holds in the ground until about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So the golf course stays receptive, but it's been unseasonably warm and dry, really. Not a lot of humidity. We didn't have any rain all week, so the golf course just got firmer and firmer and firmer, and they'd grown the rough. Well, I mean, it was it was 6-7 inches in places. So it was, even if you hit the fairway, sometimes you were playing into greens. I think you saw some par threes where they were just landing on the greens and running through the back, like the second and the 14th. Anytime you went downwind, you were just like trying to land it on the front couple of yards of the green, even if the green was 30 yards long. So, it was an extreme test with regards to where you had to land the ball. If you had to shape it into holes, the flags were tough. Just everything about it was difficult, and it's as tough as I've seen a golf course for a long, long time. I think it was pretty fair, because I think if you hit a lot of fairways and you had all your game in good shape and you were scrambling well, that was good, and putting well, obviously it put in at a premium. You couldn't be aggressive, but if you were aggressive, it was going 5-6 feet past and you were having to hold those coming back. So I guess, yes, the best player of the week did win. I would have just liked to see good shots rewarded a little bit more. I saw too many good shots not get rewarded. Bounce through the back of the greens, and you go across a lot of angles at Vale where it ran through, and it seems to be at tournaments now. They water the rough, and the first couple of feet where you run into is the worst bit, and then if you hit it a bit wider, you tend to get away with that. As you saw on 16 with Gary Woodland, hitting it right and was able to hit it on the green. If you missed the fairway there by a foot, you were laying up because you were in stuff this thick. So, but that's just the way it is at golf tournaments nowadays. But I always love playing Vale, and it always provides for good finishes. 16, 17, 18, a great stretch to finish on. And if you can finish out, Scotty did. He made a great par at 15, and then an unbelievable par laying up at 16, and then 2 solid pars on 17 and 18. Then you've played well under the ultimate pressure on a great test. So I always enjoy playing this tournament. I always enjoy watching it.
And are we expecting more of the same this week at the Players at Sawgrass? Obviously, you alluded to the fact that the weather has played the big part in making the course so tough. So are they going to be able to react to that and try and keep Sawgrass a bit softer, or is that going to be, like I said, a bit more of the same this week and a big challenge?
The weather's going to have a lot to do with it. It's a good forecast until about Thursday, I think, and then it's due to, I think there's 80-90% chance of rain on Friday, and then it's to drop to quite cold conditions at the weekend with strong blustery winds. So a lot of the guys won't have played Sawgrass in those conditions before. I played it a few years ago. I remember I was in or around the lead, and I was playing with Luke Donald on the Saturday. I think it was the year Fred Funk won, and we were in little 6 irons into 17. So if that starts to happen, Sawgrass gets interesting. So it'll be dictated to. Obviously, when it rains, it softens the golf course up, and scoring becomes easier. But if it's going to go cold and windy straight after that, then scoring at the weekend will be tough, especially swirling around in those pine trees at Sawgrass.
Okay, so hopefully you make it out of Florida in one piece. And
it's just giving me a little warm up for Cheltenham next week. The cold weather on the weekend.
Moving on to the Masters, obviously that's what everyone is doing on this call. As I said at the start, either Masters first timers here, with us here at Your Golf Travel, or people coming back on repeat trips. So kicking off Augusta theme, are you looking forward to, obviously this is going to be the first time full crowds are back for a wee while, and obviously you had limited patrons there last year, but what's it going to be like playing? I think Augusta is your favourite golf course in the world, if I'm not mistaken. So what's it going to be like back there playing with a full house again?
Oh, it'd be brilliant. The crowds, or patrons, as they like to call them, really sort of set the scene there at Augusta. There's nothing like being in contention on a Sunday, playing the back nine, hearing cheers from the crowds as somebody rolls one in close on 16 to that back left pin, or makes an eagle on 15, as I did a few years ago in 2016, or an eagle, or makes a mess of 12, like Jordan Spieth did. You can hear the different kinds of cheers reverberating around the ground. So it'll be great to be back and have everybody in there, and hopefully I'll be in contention, and it'll be a good tournament.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Like I say, hopefully we'll play well, but I'm sure it'll be a great tournament regardless. Quick one, who has got the job of your caddy this year? I think Sam caddied for you last year, is that correct? Your son? Is he still on the bag? Or
he did, yeah.
Helen's muscling in, isn't she?
Helen's doing it. Yeah, she's already looking forward to that walk up the 8th and the 18th holes. I like that.
So are you playing in the par 3 tournament this year on the Wednesday?
I am, yes. Yeah, it's a great tradition. It's not been on for the last couple of years, so it'd be nice to have another go at it.
So no par 3 champion has ever gone on to win the main event. So hypothetical question coming at you: if you had a putt to win par 3 contest, would you intentionally shove it a little bit right, or give it a little cheeky pull, or are you not that kind of superstitious kind of guy?
No, I'm not really superstitious. I'd just be going for the win. Somebody's got to do it at some point, haven't they?
Exactly.
So, why not this year? No, I have. To be honest, I've never ever come anywhere near winning that par 3 tournament. I think I've been 3 or 4 under with a couple of holes to play before, and still not won it. I think 6 under won it that year. So there's some tough little holes out there. It's real good fun. When I went there, not in the Masters week, we went out and played it straight after we'd played 18, because it's just such a good little golf course.
So yeah, obviously a few of the guys and girls on the call will have tickets for the Wednesday, so that's definitely a recommended thing to do. If you happen to have a ticket for Wednesday, make sure you pop into the par 3 tournament. Final question before I open the floor to some of the clients who sent in some questions. When you win this year, what is going to be on your Champions Dinner menu for 2023?
Oh, I think I'd probably keep it the main course, typically English, like a roast dinner or something like that. Roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. As you can tell, I'm not a vegetarian. Maybe go for a bit of sushi to start, or something like that, or keep it really simple with like a prawn cocktail or a mushroom soup. Got lots of different tastes to cater for, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I think it's not been too long since there's been an English champion. So, what did Danny serve when he was Masters champion? Do we know?
I can't remember.
Fish and
He's in the
chips or
kitchen,
something,
so I
maybe?
should ask him really.
Yeah. So, as I said, the main reason for today's call is to let you talk to some of the ladies and gentlemen who will be joining us at Augusta National. So, we're going to open the floor and give the mic to Bill McWilliam, who's got a question about some of the technicalities of Augusta National itself. Over to you, Bill.
Thanks, Rory. Hello, Lee.
Hey, Bill.
Just a quick one, really. What would you say for you personally was the most technically difficult shot at the Masters?
The most technically difficult shot of the Masters for me is probably the second shot into 13 because of the lie. If you've hit the fairway, which is tough to do anyway, you've got a bit, for me, it's not my natural shape to hit a big slinging hook around the corner, but if I do hit the fairway, you're then faced with a shot where you don't really want to miss it left, but that's the safest bit because there's a creek runs up the right-hand side of the green and you're on a lie with the ball above your feet, but you're also on a bit of a downslope as well. So you're leaning into it like that. So everything sort of, one makes you want to try, what makes you hit it left. The other kind of, because you're down, makes you want to squeeze it right. So it's a really tough shot.
Thank you.
So yeah, looking forward to seeing you try and handle that one in tournament conditions, Lee. Thank you very much, Bill. Next up, we have Keith Snelling, who's got a few questions. Keith might not be on the call, so I've got his questions noted down. So if you are on, Keith, and you can't get your audio to work, Keith's first question is: how would you compare the Masters from any of the other golf majors you've participated in? What makes the Masters so special?
Well, I think it's because you go back to the same venue every year. You become very familiar with everything. Even the people that work there, it's the same faces. So you build up a relationship with them, and I think that's why you get so many repeat winners, because you do learn a lot about the golf course when you're playing it under competitive conditions. It's all right going there, say, a week before and trying to learn the golf course, but it changes so dramatically between, say, even the Tuesday of that week and teeing off on the Thursday that nothing can prepare you for how it plays once the tournament starts. So just the fact that it's the same golf course, the same venue, they use the same pins. They do rotate them, but you know where the flag will be on 16, and you know where the flag will be on 18. They put some out on Sunday to give you birdie chances, and you just feel like you're going back to you remember there, you're going back to the course once a year that you're very familiar with.
And moving from the Masters onto the Ryder Cup, another of Keith's questions is: would you consider winning or retaining the Ryder Cup in the States is more satisfying than on home soil in Europe?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. The win in Chicago at Medina, the final day there was incredible. I think that's the last time anybody's won away from home, if I'm right. And it always is a little bit more special. It always means a little bit more if you can silence the home fans.
Great. And finally, from Keith, do you have any aspirations for your son Sam to follow in your footsteps? And will it be difficult if he asks you to coach him long term if he does make the grade?
It's already difficult to coach him. He does listen, but it's easier when it's coming from somebody else. I can see that already. He plays nicely, so I just want him to give it his best shot and become the best player that he can be. So he's going to play a little bit more golf coming up this next year and see where he gets to.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Keith. Moving on to a question from Neville Stewart. Do we have you on the call, Neville? All right, so that might be another one who's not on the call. So just in case you are listening in, Neville, and you can't get your audio to work as well. Neville's question for Lee is: lots of people on this call going to the Masters for the first time. What is the one thing they must do or see while they're at Augusta National?
Get into the merchandise tent quick. That stuff goes fast. You see everybody marching out on Monday and Tuesday with arms full of bags, and they do sell out. So especially if it rains, they'll get rid of the brollies really quickly. And then if you are there, say on a Wednesday, go and see the par 3 tournament. I know the first time I went there, the view that struck me the most was coming over the hill on 11 and looking down there, seeing the 11th green and then the 12th green in the distance, and an amen corner, and just knowing that I was about to play one of the most iconic stretches of golf in the world was it sent shivers down the spine. So there were so many wow moments at Augusta. You try and take it all in.
Yeah, so I guess the short answer is that there isn't just one thing. You just
not
got to
just
try
one, no.
Yeah, soak it all up. And finally, from Neville, he would like to see if you have any tips for the Cheltenham Festival, and have you got any horses running this year?
Yeah. No tips. You know what? I've been away for most of the year, so I haven't really been watching too much horse racing and checking too much format. But we are probably going to have a run in the champion bumper on Wednesday called Call Me Harry, which has won his 2 bumpers at Musselburgh and Newcastle to qualify for this. So hopefully he'll run well.
Great. Well, thank you, Neville, for sending your questions in. Next on the list, we have Ian Wardle. So Ian, fire away. Do we have you on the call?
Wait, I am on the call, yes. Hi,
Excellent.
Lee. Hi, Lee.
Hi, Ian. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Right, I watched you on telly last night. It looked a bit traumatic. I haven't actually been to I haven't actually been to Augusta before. So during the 3 days I'm there, I intend to walk the full length of the course. But I suspect you might actually have already answered this question. If you were a spectator, where would you suggest was a very good vantage point to watch quite a few groups go through?
Where would I go? I'd probably go and try and get somewhere around the 15th green, 16th tee. You can watch people playing into 15 and put out there, and there's a bit of water involved, and then 16, and there's a chance you might see if you're going in the practice rounds, you'll see the guys skipping it across the water trying to hit the green, and that's pretty good fun down there. That seems to be where the seats get placed out the earliest. That's the areas that fill up quickest. So yeah, get down there.
That's great. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you very much, Ian. I would absolutely agree with Lee on that one. That's I've been lucky to be a few times with your golf club, and that's the first place I head with my chair as well. Great vantage point, concessions, lots of different holes you can get to really easily. So great tip, Lee. Next question, and the last question from the clients is from Edward Keelan, who's got a bit of a special request as well. So Edward, if you're on the call, the mic is yours.
Yeah, sorry, Lee, I'm having a few internet troubles.
That's all right.
Classic of all the times. So we met about 25 years ago when I came to your house as a 15-year-old boy to have and you very kindly gave me a lesson in your back garden with your dad.
All right. Wow.
But that week you went on to win the Scandinavian Masters, I think it was.
Right.
Your first victory. So I'm assuming somewhere that my swing inspired you to
probably.
So we just have a bit of an audio issue here, and I actually have Edward's question, which is, can you give him any tips on his swing, which you're seeing pop up on screen right now, and reevaluate your lesson for him?
Looks pretty good. Right arm maybe just doesn't quite fold properly on the way back. Goes a little bit behind him, so it's difficult to get the good rhythm to it though. Excellent rhythm. I would say just try and work the right arm a little bit harder so it gets a little bit higher and not so much across to the top of the backswing. Other than that, looks good. Well,
thank you, Edward, for sending in your question and the swing. Clearly you've got a couple of things to go and work on next time you're at the range. And also thank you for everyone else who sent in their questions as well. Lee, before we let you go, obviously I think you're off to Sawgrass later on this afternoon. We've got a few quick fire questions for you. So we want fast, snappy, immediate answers. So we're going to start off with green jacket or claret jug?
Claret jug.
Augusta National or St Andrews?
Augusta.
Portugal or Spain for a golf holiday?
Portugal.
Peloton or treadmill?
Peloton.
Ski or beach holiday?
Ski.
If you had any Ryder Cup, or if you could pick any Ryder Cup partner, past or present, who would you go for?
Sergio.
Worst rule on tour?
That if you are in a bunker full of water, or in water in a bunker, you have to drop it, which immediately plugs. Never understand that. You should just get to place it.
Most memorable win of your career? There have been many.
Yeah. Australian Open, I'd say, 1997, beating Greg Norman in a 4-hole playoff in Melbourne. Obviously a hero of mine growing up, and then he was still world number one at that time. So to beat him in his own backyard was very special.
Well, speaking of great golfers, who is the greatest golfer of all time?
Well, they do it on majors, don't they? So it's Nicholas.
Okay, so and finally, who would make up your all-time dream four-ball? Doesn't necessarily have to be golfers; could be celebrities that you'd like to play with. But who'd be the three people on your tee sheet list?
Well, I'd probably make it golfers and go for Seve, Arnold Palmer, and Ben Hogan.
There we go. That's a pretty strong four-ball. I have had a couple of questions come in on the chat. Obviously, I'm aware, Lee, that you do need to get off to Sawgrass fairly soon, so I will just fire off a couple of quick ones, but then we'll let you go. Jim Colgan, apart from yourself, who do you think is the favourite to win the Green Jacket this year?
Ooh, well, generally goes towards a longer hitter. So let's go with Justin Thomas.
There you go. So, Lee, we will let you go. Thank you very much for taking the time to chat to the guys and girls who will be at Augusta National, cheering you on, hopefully.
Thank you. Yes.
Hopefully you can get that first major. I've had one final question just get sent in. This will be the last one. We've got a group playing Kiawah Island just before the Masters, so they're really they're really going big on their Masters trip. Have you got any tips for playing the ocean course?
Hit it straight. Yeah, there's a lot of trouble, and stay away from the water because there's a lot of alligators around there. But enjoy yourself because it's a great golf course. I really enjoyed the PGA Championship last year. It was a tough week. It was windy, and they let it dry out. But the whole thing's incredible. It's a beautiful clubhouse, and the views are amazing. So hopefully they'll get a nice day with just a bit of breeze and enjoy themselves. Great.
Well, like I said, Lee, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck this week at the Players, but more importantly, next month at Augusta National, we'll all be cheering for you. Thank you also to everyone else who's joined the call. Sincere thanks from everyone at Your Golf Travel for choosing us to either, as I said at the start, come with us to Augusta National for your very first trip, or if you're a repeat booker, thank you very much as well. And that's it. We will see you guys out in Augusta National.